Today, we're diving into a really powerful story. It's all about the incredible strength you can find in a single prayer. We're going to meet two friends, Fatima and Mirha, and see how an act of faith can literally become a light in the darkest of moments. We'll explore themes of friendship, fear, and where real inner strength truly comes from. So this quote right here, that's really the heart of everything we're about to see. But how does that actually work? How can prayer be a shield? Well, this story is going to show us step by step how devotion can turn into the strongest defense against the things that scare us the most. All right, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off with two young friends, Fatima and Mirha. They're super close, but when it comes to how they see the world, and especially when it comes to faith, they are worlds apart. I want you to just picture this place for a second. It's this beautiful green village, just full of life, and the whole rhythm of the day is kind of built around faith. So when that morning call to prayer echoes through the streets, it's not just noise, it's this deep sense of peace that settles over everyone. It's a community really built on devotion. So let's get to know our two friends. You've got Fatima, who is just so devout. Her heart is completely filled with faith and prayer. That's her rock, her source of strength for everything. And then you have Mirha. She's smart, she's modern, but her take on things is totally different. She kind of thinks prayer is for grown-ups, something for later in life. And this is Mira's whole vibe right here. It just perfectly sums up how she sees things. For her, being a kid is all about playing and having fun. All that serious stuff like prayer, that's for later. It can just wait. And even though they're so different, their friendship just keeps getting stronger. But there's this one little thing that Mirha never really understands. They could be in the middle of the best game ever. But the second the call to prayer, the namaz, begins, Fatima just stops. Everything. For Mirha, it's this weird pause in the fun. But for Fatima, it's a promise she'll never break. So, this difference in how they see the world, well, it's about to be put to the ultimate test in a way that neither of them could ever see coming. Their friendship and their beliefs are about to run into a challenge that comes straight out of the shadows. You know how small towns and villages have their spooky stories? Well, this one is no different. There's this old forest nearby, and it's got a pretty dark reputation. It's not just a bunch of trees, it's the setting for all these cautionary tales. The legend goes that when the sun starts to set, some kind of shadowy power wakes up in there, and it preys on anyone who has forgotten God. So one evening, the two friends are playing, just totally lost in their own world, and they don't even realize how far they've gone until they look up and find themselves right at the edge of that creepy old forest. And of course, the sun is just starting to go down. And just like that, everything changes. The peaceful evening is gone. The shadows get long and twisted. The wind starts whipping around them really fierce. And then these strange sounds start echoing from the trees. For Mira, who doesn't have that anchor of faith to hold on to, raw fear just starts to creep in. And then it happens. The old stories, they become real. A dark, black shadow just kind of emerges from deep within the forest. We're not talking about some monster with claws and teeth here. This is something else. It's like the fear from all those legends just took form. Then the shadow speaks, and its voice just booms out this one sentence. Whoa. I mean, that's not just a spooky threat. It's aimed right at Mira's whole way of thinking. It's saying that fear isn't just an emotion, it's a consequence. Okay, so this is it. This is the moment of truth. They are literally face to face with fear itself. And it all boils down to one choice. Do you let the darkness win, or do you find a light to fight back with? As you can imagine, Mirha is absolutely frozen with fear. But Fatima, she doesn't panic. Instead, she becomes this incredible source of strength. She just grabs Mirha's hand, holds it tight, and says these simple words. Her immediate reaction is faith, not fear. And this is where we see faith turn into action. Fatima actually tells Mirha that this fear is the perfect time to pray. So she kneels right there on the ground and begins her namaz. And as she does, this incredible, radiant light starts to glow around her. It gets brighter and brighter until the shadow itself, this thing made of pure darkness, actually shrinks back, crying out because it can't stand how pure the light is. And in an instant, it's over. The entire forest just falls silent. The wind dies down to a gentle breeze. The sky seems to clear up, And that crushing feeling of fear, it's just gone, vanished. The prayer didn't just fight the shadow, it changed everything around them. So, what do we take away from an experience like that? I mean, what's the real lesson here? Well, for Mirha, and I think for all of us, the moral of this story is about to become incredibly clear. Mirha has tears streaming down her face, but they're not tears of fear anymore. It's something else. It's wonder. It's this overwhelming sense of peace. She just saw something that her smart, modern brain could never process. But her heart got the message loud and clear. And in that moment, she says it herself. She gets it now. All the things she thought were important, they're nothing compared to the power she just saw in Fatima's simple act of faith. And from that day forward, everything was different for Mirha. Prayer wasn't that thing for later anymore. It became the most important part of her day. And through it, she found this deep sense of calm and peace that, no game or worldly possession had ever given her. Her entire outlook on life just completely shifted. So, when you boil it all down, this story leaves us with some really powerful takeaways. First, that prayer really can be a shield when things get tough. Second, that trust is the ultimate way to conquer fear. Third, true peace, that comes from your connection to God, not from stuff. And finally, when you have that connection, no darkness, no matter how scary, can really touch you. And that brings us to a final thought, something for you to reflect on. The story uses this amazing metaphor of light pushing back darkness. So it kind of makes you ask yourself, right? In your own challenging moments, what represents that light? Is it your faith, your friends, your own resilience? What's the source of light that you turn to when you have to face your own shadows?